How many female directors can you name?
Ooh, I can name Greta Gerwig. So that's one.
Patty Jenkins. Oh my god.
That's so sad.
Patty Jenkins.
I know that a woman directed The Hurt Locker, but I don't know her name.
Ava DuVernay. Man, yeah, that's hard. It shouldn't be hard, but it's hard.
The director of American Psycho is female, but I forget her name already. I feel like I could name so many male directors off the top of my head. That's crazy that I can't even think of one. I think the only gendered thing that was talked about is the beginning of this semester for my production class. My teacher kind of addressed the film bro thing that is I feel very big here, where a lot of men will think that they know everything. And I've even experienced in my class where someone will constantly ask me if I need help with something even though I've already completed the assignment or I know what I'm doing. So he addressed that, but I've heard people complain that they haven't seen enough films that have women directors or behind the scenes.
All the film professors I've had have been dudes. I don't know if we have female film professors here, maybe. Haven't seen any yet.
Just remembered another director. So Leni Riefenstahl comes up, but that's just because she was doing a lot of Nazi propaganda. So they come up for very interesting reasons other than just this is a good film and this is why. It's just this is a weird thing that happened more than anything.
We were applying for college, the Me Too movement was happening, and I was like, oh, good. This is this is happening just before I'm about to go to college and study in film, and on one hand it's great because we're getting rid of those people before we're going into the workplace, but on the other hand it's this is a turbulent time, and we're about to head into it. So it's interesting.
I just kind of given up on that kind of side of things, which is sad, but I kind of just expect to not be treated as equal and to even be harassed at this point, because it's happened to me so many times, whether it's at work or on the street. So going into a field where I'm surrounded by men, I feel it's almost inevitable, which is really, really sad, and I hope that's not the case and that it turns around. But I feel that's a reality for a lot of women going into any male-dominated film, any male-dominated careers, that you're always gonna have to deal with being seen as lesser than, unfortunately.
I think that it is done a lot to help people feel more comfortable talking about things. I don't think it's made a major change, but I think it is helping, it has helped push people to at least be a bit more open about things, which is nice.
It was really cool to see a lot of women in the film industry kind of rally together, but at the same time I feel it's kind of dying off, and that makes me a little sad, because I feel it was one big scandal with Harvey Weinstein and a couple other people Kevin Spacey and all these other abusers, and then it just sort of died down after that, which I thought was kind of sad, because I feel that movement could have been used to uplift women and continue to uplift women in film, but hopefully it gets a little stronger as we go.
I think a good example is if you look at Wonder Woman versus Justice League and how they portray the Amazonians in regards to costume design and just general camera framing, and there's clearly a lot more objectification and sexualization in Justice League because it was made by primarily men versus Wonder Woman, which had a female director.
I was actually talking to my boyfriend because he was telling me, he was talking about in his Making Monsters class how male villains are always seen as ugly and gross and robust and they're like gonna beat you up. And then the women villains are always like sexy, seductive, like, and the male's objective is like, ugh, I just can't have sex with her. Like, that's her only trait, which is it's such a common trope, and that's so weird to me. And I feel like when women write or direct or have a key part in making a film, it really does show.
Like, becoming a woman isn't really as much of like this graceful thing where you just like become covered in makeup and everything. It's more of like this quirky, awkward kind of like coming into your own in this like strange way. And I think that when you see movies that are directed by women, they more show that more realistic way like of what it is to be a woman, instead of the usual way that ends up being a bit sexualized and objectified.
Long story short, women should be behind the camera, definitely, but we need to be able to talk about it as well and not let other people write the narrative. We have to show our face to those kids who need to know that there are women doing big things everywhere.
I mean, I think more than anything that is just the more women we can have in the public eye in that media sense, the more people will see it, and just the more representation, the more that is being created, and hopefully the more that they start being taken seriously and being nominated for Oscars and stuff, the better, and then we can kind of show the rest, like the whole world through that like start to have a more collective idea that is a bit more, you know, real of womanhood or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like more women working in film and TV would definitely help improve things, because like that's something that's seen by everyone. Like, women being involved in like politics and other fields is definitely very important, but like the average person isn't super invested in that, versus like basically everyone's going out and watching movies and TV and stuff, and having like prominent women being involved there. It's gonna help spread like feminist messages to general populace.
There's so many people that the opportunities are passed up on just to like fit like a stupid stereotype that only like men can do this or only men can do that. There's so many funny women, so many talented women, and some of the best writers ever are women. So give us the jobs and we're bound to prove you wrong.